The contact module allows you to add a contact form to your website. If you wanted to have multiple contact forms, you can give your form a name, thus identifying which part of the website the form sits on. This can be helpful if you want to be able to identify which part of your website entices users to contact you the most. There's also a header and body text, just like in many of our modules. The form fields are composed of 4 different attributes: the type, whether they're required, the width, and the label that you give them. There are multiple types, some of which invoke certain browser components. So a date field would invoke a date picker on a mobile device, for example. Fields can be optional or mandatory, which is shown via the asterisk next to the field. And half or full width fields are available depending on the length of input that you're expecting. If a field is half width and it's next to another field, they will stack on mobile like this. On desktop, they then arrange next to one another again. If we were to change a field to date, then that shows a date selector component. And there's also an optional text field, which is a free-form field where users could enter any kind of text. You can reorder, delete, or add fields like you would anywhere else in the CMS, and for contact forms, the number of fields is not limited. You can display an option for users to tell you a preferred contact method of theirs, either email or phone. If you do show this, it probably makes sense to have a phone field as part of your contact form. Legal consents are required in many countries nowadays. In the EU, for example, you have the GDPR, which mandates that users opt into their personally identifiable information to be collected, and email addresses are part of this. So anywhere in the EU, you have to add one of these fields. We'll add some text to the button for the next part. As you can see, the submit button is currently grayed out. And then when you click the GDPR consent, it becomes available. But not all opt-ins have to be required. So if you create an optional opt-in, you will see that only the required opt-in affects the button. If we make both required, you will see that both checkboxes have to be ticked before the button to submit the form becomes available. All contact modules include a Captcha to prevent spam. Since contact forms will be sent to you as an email, the system needs to be told an email address to send these forms to. Normally this is the email address you have signed up with, but you can define this in site settings under send forms here. You can enter a different email address and then the system will send any contact forms there. Now let's submit the contact form. I'll just add my name and a quick message and solve the CAPTCHA. Once you select submit, a thank you message is shown if the form is sent successfully.